From the Figure 4 Online Studios in beautiful Bothell, Washington, exclusively at WrestlingObserver.com, you're listening to The Bryan and Vinny Show with your hosts, Bryan Alvarez and Big Vinny V.
All right, everybody, it's the Bryan and Vinny Show here. It is November 10, 2019, figure4online.com / WrestlingObserver.com. Vinny just moments ago got done with the AEW pay-per-view. We're going to review that later on tonight. No NWA, no superstars. Got AEW to talk about here tonight. And Granny is joining us here, as she does every Sunday. Granny, what's happening?
You know, I think since my 90th birthday, I have a better memory.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It just seems like I'm not as forgetful as I usually am.
What's something that you have remembered that you would have previously forgotten?
Well, just normal things.
Right.
I'm still bad with names, though. But
so what happened recently where you said, man, my memory is so much better since I had my 90th birthday?
Well, I don't know. My mind seems more clear for some reason. Anyway, I have, my birthday.
I'm aware of it, yes.
Yeah, we were just talking about it.
Anyway.
You forgot about us talking about it.
You forgot we were talking about your birthday.
Oh, Saturday, I went to bingo, and my friend Darlene bought me a red flamingo lily. Those are very expensive.
You bought a flamingo at bingo?
A flamingo lily.
Yeah.
Oh.
And she paid for my bingo card, and I won $15.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that plant is so pretty.
Wow. Well, Granny, we can't tell everybody what the other birthday gift that you got was, but would you like to just say a big thank you to everybody that helped set it up?
Yes, thank you. That was fun.
Yeah. I'll tell Vinny about it later.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what do we got here today, Vinny?
We have questions and contest ideas on Granny's Facebook page. Yeah. We begin with Skylar King, who has one of each. Question, Granny, did you watch All Elite Wrestling Full Gear?
No.
All right. Contest idea. What 3 things would The Undertaker send you in a care package?
A contest?
That's the contest idea. Everyone
That might be good.
Everyone name 3 things that The Undertaker would send to Granny in a care package.
Well, it couldn't be a hat and gloves because I already have them.
Well, Granny, you don't spoil the contest if this is what we're going to do.
Hey, Granny, hold on a second. All right, apologize for that, everybody. We're having some internet issues on Granny's end. I'm afraid she might not have paid her bill. Taking all that money and going to the casino. She'd be paying her Comcast bill. Is that right, Granny?
No.
Okay. All right, Vinny, let's get going on this thing.
Dean Valerial. A theater near me is doing a midnight screening of The Big Lebowski, complete with themed cocktail drinks. Would you, Bryan, or Vinny want to fly to Ohio to watch it?
To Ohio?
Ohio.
Yeah, not happening.
I shall also pass. I will drink a White Russian here. That's fine. Dan Edwards is a... Yes, Granny?
I said no, thank you.
Okay, good. Dan Edwards has a contest idea. Create a title and catchphrase for a sports combat pay-per-view if Granny was the promoter.
So, like, it would be... I can't even think of anything good. You know?
Well, it's a hard contest, Bryan.
It is.
Maybe that's a good thing.
To make it easy for you, Granny, it would be like Granny Mania.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And with a
Bummer Slam.
with a slogan.
Yeah.
Bomber Slam's not bad.
Yeah. It's not a bad one.
I like that better than 3 items in an Undertaker care package.
Yes, I'm not sure about that one.
Rob King wants to know if you were excited for the MLS Cup this afternoon.
No.
Okay.
That was easy.
Yeah. Tim Page has a contest idea and a question. Contest idea, give Bryan a new wrestling name/gimmick and finishing move to go with it.
No.
Okay.
Crowd goes wild.
Yeah. I was waiting for the question. Maybe that would make it better.
All right, the question is, Granny, what do you think of Rod Stewart? Is he a hip dude, or should he act his age?
I should know who it is, but I don't.
I think you'd know him if you saw him.
If you saw him, an
You'd-
English
you'd
fellow with
swoon.
crazy wild hair.
Sure, yeah.
Is it a wrestler?
No, Rod Stewart.
He's a singer.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'd have you Google it, but
I recognize the name, but I don't recognize what he does.
Tanner James wants to know if you have you tried the Popeyes chicken sandwich yet?
No, I haven't. Where do they have that?
Popeyes.
at Popeyes, Grady, there's none around here. That's why you haven't tried.
That's
it.
what I thought.
A bunch in the South End.
You think Granny's driving to the South End to go to Popeyes?
Around here.
Well,
there's,
no.
there's one by my house.
Dude, you live in Granny, when's the last time you went to North Bend?
It's been a while.
When's the last time you went to the South End?
Renton.
When's the last time you went to Renton?
Let's see. Probably last summer when I went to see my brother.
A summer ago.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, she's not going to Popeyes, dude. If you would have said Chick-fil-A, that's at least right down the road in Kenyon Park.
Well, my follow-up was going to be, are there any chicken sandwiches you do like?
What chicken sandwiches do you like, Granny?
The kind I make at home.
What do you put in
don't
your
like-
What do you put in
I
your
don't-
chicken sandwiches?
Just mayonnaise and that's it. Mayonnaise.
That's the way I like it.
Mayo and chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever had the chicken sandwich with the ranch burger, Granny? It's pretty good.
No, I don't know why, but even at Wendy's, I've never tried it.
Dude, Wendy's has good chicken
The
sandwiches.
chicken sandwiches are my favorite thing at Wendy's.
Yeah, you should try chicken sandwich at Wendy's, Granny. Only mayo.
I kind of get stuck on something and hate to try anything new because I'm afraid I might not like it.
So unlike anyone
So
else in this family.
Next time I'll try Wendy's.
How many times
Chicken.
I've watched Toy Story in the last 2 weeks? I mean, I can't even tell you.
It's a good movie.
I don't even know anything about the movie. It's just always on, perpetually. She doesn't even really watch it. It's just on. Every now and then she'll be distracted and tell me what's happening, and then she'll go play with something else. 24/7 Toy Story's on. I go, how about Toy Story 1? No, Toy Story 2. How about Toy Story? No, Toy Story 2. It's going to be the same one over and over again. Toy Story 2.
It'll be Toy Story 2.
Yes.
That's interesting.
I try to show her pictures of Toy Story 3. I look at the characters in this one. Doesn't want to watch that one.
Toy Story 3 may be a little too grown up for her. That ending is...
She doesn't even know what's going on,
Intense.
so it doesn't matter.
Craig J. Smart wants to know, Granny and or Vinny, apparently not a question for Brian, have you seen any UK TV shows? If so, what are your favorites?
How dare they not include me in this?
Have you seen any UK TV shows,
Yeah,
Brian?
the BBC. It's my favorite.
That's a great UK TV show.
Yes.
What are they?
Any show produced in the United Kingdom.
That would be
Monty Python,
BBC.
Faulty
The
Towers,
British Broadcasting
Red
Corporation.
Dwarf, Blackadder, Blackadder 2, Blackadder the Third, The Young
None.
Ones,
None.
None.
Downton Abbey.
Get out of here.
None.
I bought a whole season of that for Whitney's mother the other day.
It's a great show and a good movie. So yes, Craig, those are some of my favorites right there. John Tab Somerville, Mrs. Gibson. Who you rather go 200 years in the future? Oh, would you rather go 200 years in the future or 200 years in the past? Me, I would go in the future to see if I made an impact.
I think I'd go in the future too.
He doesn't know if he's made an impact?
That's what it says. I'm going to guess that the year 2219 is a better place to be than the year 1819.
It's arguable, Vinny. We won't find
We
out.
won't find out.
I mean,
We'll be gone.
I'm trying, but every day that goes by, I don't even know why I'm bothering.
Andrew J. Merkel. I guess the contest idea is opponent and stipulation for Brian's next match.
Trying to think about watching bad wrestling for another 200 years. It's just like inconceivable.
Impact will still be a thing.
Yeah.
And Granny, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Do we like that contest idea?
I didn't even hear the contest. I was thinking about wrestling.
Opponent and stipulation for Brian's next match.
There ain't going to be one.
Is there anyone left?
No.
AEW signed them all.
They've signed everybody.
Yeah.
They even got the rock and rolls.
They did.
They got Jungle Boy, Orange Cassidy, the Rock and Roll Express. Who am I missing? What are you sniffing about over there, Granny?
I didn't think you'd notice.
You loudly
You're snorting
sniffing
in the microphone.
You know what a microphone is? All right, go ahead, Vinny.
Drew Gage. You wrestled him, didn't you?
That was Nick Gage.
Nick.
We used to wrestle Drew Gage. Different guy.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
What should be the theme for my son's first birthday party?
I mean, may not be this Drew Gage, but we wrestled at Drew Gage.
Yeah.
The theme for his first birthday party? Let me give you some advice as a father. It doesn't matter. They're not going to be into it, and they're not going to remember it. So do whatever you want to do. I think Paisley remembers a thing about her first birthday party. You know what I remember from her first birthday party? She cried the whole time. We had her dressed up as a cat.
Yeah.
We had a cat cake. She didn't eat anything. She cried the whole time. She's 3.5, and she told me it was our first Halloween together.
Okay.
So you could do anything you want for this first birthday.
She learned math from
You
her
could
dad.
have strippers there. It's not going to matter. This kid is not going to remember this.
She may
like that, actually.
get hungry, yeah.
Yeah.
Johnny Stewart. Granny's 100th birthday plans contest.
That's not bad, actually. That's not bad. Then we could see how it changes in the next 10 years.
Yes. Skylar Mishra says Christmas limerick.
That's too early. Doing Christmas in November.
Tapio Forsberg wants to know, how do you feel about there being another double G in the Empire?
Oh, Garrett?
I guess, Garrett.
Yeah, I'm fine. That's great.
I want to ask you.
The more, the better. The more guys willing to do shows on days I can't do shows, the better.
Okay. Toby Travalos. Best Christmas/Undertaker mashup poem.
It's not bad, actually.
We'll save that.
I actually like that one.
It's not Thanksgiving yet.
A poem, a Christmas poem involving the Undertaker.
Yes.
Okay, that's a winner.
This is the best one so far.
Yes.
Hayden Fallick wants to know, Granny, why are you not playing fantasy football?
You know what we should just do? Is like every holiday, we should do that
Undertaker
poem.
poetry.
Undertaker Thanksgiving, Undertaker Christmas,
Oh,
Undertaker Columbus Day,
the Undertaker Easter jokes.
Undertaker Easter, Undertaker Arbor Day. There's so many options here. Let's do it,
The
Granny.
Lord doing the zombie
Okay,
setup.
Granny, listen, this is the next contest. I'm deciding. An Undertaker Thanksgiving poem.
Okay.
Yes. Has to be a Thanksgiving poem that involves the Undertaker.
Should I continue reading these then, or are we done?
I think we're done. I mean,
What do you think? What do you say, Granny?
Uh-huh.
how have we only gone 12 minutes? This doesn't even seem possible.
Well, you did the 10-minute break. In the
Why
middle
don't you
of
read
that.
a few more?
We've gone longer than that.
No,
There was a time I was not recording because you were working on technical stuff. When you had Granny reconnect 6 times.
yeah, me and Granny were working on technical
Yes,
stuff.
the people-
and it didn't fix anything.
The people
by
have
the way.
been listening for 12 minutes.
Yes. All right, go
Chris
ahead.
Ledecky, what other places do you like to eat at besides Wendy's?
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
What's the Chinese restaurant in Woodinville?
Have you ever had a chicken sandwich at Kentucky
Dude,
Fried
I've
Chicken?
I've had their pot pies,
Really?
but
You've never had a chicken sandwich at Kentucky
No,
Fried Chicken?
I
You went to
usually have-
Kentucky Fried Chicken to get a pot pie?
I usually just get 2 chicken wings and mashed potatoes and gravy. That's what I like.
Mashed potatoes is so gross.
They're not that bad.
Popeyes is
I mean,
much better.
they're not good, but like, I'll eat it.
I'm pretty boring when it comes to eating.
Well, I guess this next question is dumb then, but I'll ask it anyway. Anthony Gonzalez wants to know if you've ever had ghost pepper sauce.
No thanks.
All right. Andy Christmer says, since the tag team names contest was a success, there should be a similar contest with creating a Survivor Series team name.
I think we got our winner. Let's move on. Let's do the wrestling report here this week, Granny. What do we got?
Okay, but who had the winning?
Well,
We'll just say the Christmas one's the winner.
Toby Travalos.
Toby Travalos.
Okay, but I'm not sending him any money. Oh, that's another thing.
So why'd you ask?
You know what? Every time we pick a prize winner, it seems to be out of the country.
Yeah, I have noticed that.
And the last one,
They're funnier than us.
We had so much trouble trying to get the money across that I wound up sending him a check because PayPal kind of, I don't know what happened, but it was so confusing.
Listen, Granny, listen, I know that you want to be like a whatever, but I mean, it should just be, it's just a stupid contest on a radio show for $10. Like, if you can't accept PayPal, you're not going to get the $10. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're really going to send a check to the UK for $10 for a contest on this show?
Yeah, and it'll probably come back because I probably didn't put enough stamps on it.
Toby Travalos,
How
by the
big
way,
were these
lives in
checks?
New South Wales, Australia.
Yeah, he's from, that's probably why he's not getting any cash this time. She's laying her foot down. All right, Granny. What do we got?
Oh, boy. I can't see this too well.
What happened?
I did it in blue ink. Okay, here we go.
Are you colorblind?
Is the paper blue?
Yeah. Did you write blue ink on blue paper? What happened?
And Brian, it happened to me again. I get on there and it said NXT. So I'm watching a wrestling match and so then all of a sudden it flips over to 205.
Oh, wow.
So
Are you
now-
10 feet away from the microphone or what's going on?
Oh, okay. Anyway, this is 205, November the 6th. Nice versus Angel.
That's NXT.
Oh, see, I got 205 because I thought that's what it was.
Well, I think you're confused because there are 205 live guys on NXT now.
Oh, okay, that's probably what it was.
Yes.
Because I had NXT on here and I scratched it out and put 205. Okay. There's a 450 splash and genetic kick.
Excuse me, a genetic kick?
The usual
I didn't get that, Gene. Past the generation.
and figure fours, 2 counts, top of the rope, leaps, Angel wins. Now let's see.
Your internet sucks today, Granny. It's
What rating did you give that match, Granny?
Give it a 5. And so the Angel won it, so he has to wrestle Rush next week.
Yes.
Or
He has to.
He has to wrestle this Leo Rush fella. Yeah.
Okay, then I have NXT November the 6th with Shayna Baszler versus Dakota Kai.
You got that one.
Yeah.
20 to 30 punches, bashing four.
Excuse me, what? 20 to 30? Oh, 20 to 30, I got it.
More than 20, but
I
less
got
than
it.
30.
I got it. So about 28 or so.
It's just an unusual expression from Granny.
Okay, well, we got it.
20 to 30 punches, Granny. Go ahead.
Roundhouse kicks, both staggering. Rolling subholds, many 2 counts. Kai held her own for a while, but Baszler comes back with a subhold for the win. And I give that a 5, and I don't like Baszler.
But you still gave it a 5.
Okay, then we got Priest versus Dunn.
You know, there's a lot of people, Granny, that you say that you don't like, but I think that deep down you do like them.
If you say so.
Yeah.
Not her, though. Now, I don't know what this is from. Priest versus Dunn.
NXT, Granny. These are all NXT matches.
Oh, okay. Okay, Elite Frog around miss kick. Back kicks. Arm subholds. German, it's a duplex or suplex.
It's suplex, Granny.
It's whatever you want,
Since
Granny.
you asked, yes.
Outside ring slam on the apron. Double stomp on fingers.
Hardest part of ring.
Down on the mat more than up. Another stand there waiting for the to be jumped on. So Priest wins. I gave that a 7.
Oh, wow. After all that, you gave that a 7. That's pretty impressive.
Wrestlers stay down more than up. You will get good grades.
Yes, and they lay there waiting to get jumped on.
Stand there.
I've only got one more, but it's kind of long. It's May the 2nd or I think it's May the 2nd, 2002. Ric Flair comes out, does a promo on how everyone is trying to get rid of him. Says he isn't going anywhere and wants to beat up on Hogan. I think on the 13th of May, they had half a match.
Half a match?
Not long into the match, Rick gets a chair. The ref takes it away from him, and Flair pushes the ref, so they have a back and forth push. a progressive back kick. Oh,
Is that like progressive bingo where the jackpot gets bigger with every prize? The more you throw this kick, the more it hurts?
Rick kicks Hogan in the unmentionables. Hogan in much pain. Hogan comes back, drops Rick over his shoulder. A guy from somewhere comes in and disrupts things. And then Cold Stone comes in and he beats up on Rick. And so Hogan wins. But two guys came in. That was a different one. Anyway, I gave that a 7 too.
Oh, wow.
So I only have one thing left here, and that's 2020 predictions.
Excuse me, 2020 predictions.
Yeah.
Okay.
She sprung this on us. I did not predict she would do this.
I didn't either.
Change colors from red to blue in the belts, I guess. Trouble competing with AEF or AEW.
Yeah.
SmackDown will be canceled.
Oh, really?
Lawler has to go. Vince takes over NXT, and Triple H gets fired.
Excuse me, Triple H gets fired?
Yeah, how about that?
Where did you find these predictions?
Somewhere on YouTube.
Oh, YouTube.
There was 10 of them, but I just picked out the ones
the best ones?
Yeah.
I can only imagine the ones worse than those.
Yeah, wow. All right. Well, excellent, Granny. Thank you for the predictions for the year 2020. Sounds very, very exciting. And anything else?
Not a thing.
All right. Well, you may need to call Comcast and get your internet fixed, Granny, because it's a disaster right now.
Well, it's not the internet, it's the computer. And Lynn said she'll hook one up for me, but not until Christmas, so I have to wait till...
What do you mean it's not the internet, it's the computer?
Well, I
Do you realize the internet runs through your computer?
I know, but what would it cause it to freeze up? Wouldn't it be like Facebook or something like that would freeze
Well, if
it
your
up?
computer is freezing up and it's just like turning black, then yes, that's a computer issue. But you're having issues where your internet is cutting in and out. It's happening on this show as you're talking. You'll hear it. You all of a sudden turn into like a robot.
Well, the only thing I have though, it just all of a sudden I'm looking at something and it freezes up and I have to go all the way out and come back in to get back onto what I was watching.
Now, you probably do need a new computer.
Yeah, I think I do. Yeah. So I'm ready and willing.
And whatever you just broke, you knew one of those two.
Whatever you threw around on the ground right there that we all heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you doing?
That's my little flashlight fell over.
And why do you have a flashlight? Is the power out?
No, I was looking at my paper with it because I wrote it in blue and I couldn't see it very well.
I see. So you use a flashlight.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that little thing. I got it for free.
Wow.
What a great thing.
Wow. So we went to get the oil changed at the Jiffy Lube up the road. And, you go in and they give you there's like a little cooler there with, a water. There's like 4 ounces of water in this tiny little bottle.
Sure.
So I took Paisley there for the oil change. And I said, hey, let's get a free water. So I gave her the little thing. This is months ago. It doesn't matter where we go. She wants me to get her a free water. Which, of course, everywhere, it's not free. I have to buy a water bottle so that she can have a free water.
Uh-oh.
So I think you're a free flashlight.
So you still buy her the water bottle?
I try to talk her out of it, but she's,
Pushy and stubborn? That's weird. I wonder where she got that trait.
No, she's just...
She's demanding?
Anyway, anything else,
crazy.
Granny? Would you shut up, Vinny, you idiot? What else, Granny? Nothing?
No, I don't have anything else.
Okay, we'll talk to you after a while then.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Get rid of this delay. The word I was looking for was charming. She's charming.
That's also an effective word to use, Brian.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Before we begin this full year review, I do want to say a quick note. My wife and her friends flew down to the Bay Area for the Seahawks game on Monday night, And then once she had this trip planned, she learned there was a New Japan show the same weekend.
She went to New Japan?
My wife, Bridget, went to New Japan.
Wow.
I want to thank everyone who said hi to her and took care of her, including Dave Meltzer.
Really?
Who got her a better seat.
Wow.
So thank you, Dave, for taking care of my wife. I appreciate that.
He mentioned nothing about this last night on the show.
That's what she told me. Maybe she may have been drunk. It may not have been Dave.
I'm pretty sure it was Dave. I'm pretty sure he could get her a better seat.
It sounds like Dave. So with that out of the way, thank you everyone for being so nice to my wife. All Elite Wrestling Full Gear, November 9th, 2019. The Young Bucks versus Proud and Powerful open the show.
Well, first you missed the Britt Baker B. Priestley match.
I did not watch the pre-show or the dark match, whatever you want to call it.
Britt Baker worked with the flu.
Oh.
Oh, can you imagine? Can you imagine working with somebody that has the flu?
That'd be bad, yeah.
Ref's going to get sick.
Is it that important to do this match?
Well, yeah, actually it was important. So they had a match, and B worked over her head because she gave Britt a concussion a month or so ago.
I see.
Yeah, which...
So she's concussed and has the flu.
I am never... Well, she's not concussed now, but she'd been given a concussion which led to this feud.
I see, okay.
Listen, all due respect to everybody, I hate the gimmick where you have a real injury, and so they work over the real injury. You know what I'm saying? Like if you come back from neck surgery and people start working over your neck. You know what I mean?
Well,
the reason she got a concussion was because she accidentally got kicked in the head. So now you're going to do a match where B is fake kicking her in the head? Accidents happen. That's why this whole match is taking place. Because of an accident. So she's kicking in her head, and Britt makes a big comeback. Hits her destroyer, puts her in the lockjaw, gets a submission. Match was okay. The fans were respectful. They responded to everything. After the match, Britt leaves and B is down in the ring. And Awesome Kong and Brandy come out. Awesome Kong pulls out a knife. She lays out B. Priestley with a back fist. And then she chops off a chunk of B's hair and puts it in her waistband, like a trophy. So apparently Kong is going to run roughshod through this division, chopping off everyone's hair with a knife.
She's the new Brutus Beefcake.
This is weird. I mean, I presume, if we recall, did Brandy not raise Kong from the dead via voodoo?
That was the impression I got.
Okay, so I think that she's getting all this hair to put voodoo spells on everyone in the women's division.
That could be it, actually.
I hope it's not. But that's what it sounds like to me. She's going to, stab the doll, and then someone's going to grab their back in the middle of the match? I hope not.
That's the idea behind voodoo dolls, yes.
This Papa Shango thing wasn't cool back in the day.
He never did voodoo dolls.
Well...
I don't think. He did voodoo magic.
He did do a lot of magic.
Just made people vomit and light on fire. So then we had the Young Bucks versus Proud and Powerful, with the Rock and Roll Express in the front row, including Ricky Morton in the dopest red smoking jacket. It was awesome. So there's some generational conflict going on between, well, just those involved and those watching AEW, because they tried to enforce tag team wrestling rules in this match, like when the Proud and Powerful tried to make a hand-to-foot tag, and the ref waved it off. Then they made a legal tag behind his back. He did not allow it. He's enforcing the rules, and Jim Ross is talking about what a great job he's doing, and the crowd is booing passionately and cursing out the referee.
Well, listen, I've talked about this 1,000 times. Everybody's doing whatever they want, because they just work in every different indie promotion around the world. Now you're in AEW and we need rules. And I can tell you for a fact that there is a movement to get everybody to obey the rules.
Yeah.
It ain't going to happen overnight. Now, the reason the fans are mad is because the fans so far have not had to deal with rules. The rules, they should have had rules from day one. And instead, it's like they're 5 weeks in and they're trying to now enforce the rules. And it's making the fans angry when this poor referee is just doing his job.
So, eventually they get the heat on Nick when Nick cuts Nick throws a kick and hits the ring post.
Yes.
And so they're taking his leg apart for a while, and Nick Jackson sells his leg. Can we put Nick Jackson's ability to sell the leg alone in the Hall of Awesome? He sold his leg better than anyone sold anything in a long, long time. He's climbing the rope super slow. When he throws a kick, he sells his leg. And the big spot in the match is they're doing their comeback. He goes for the Meltzer driver and does a springboard, but he collapses because his leg hurts.
Yes.
So then they hit him with a move, and hit him with a move, and hit him with a move, and hit the street sweeper and pinned him.
Nick Jackson is an underrated wrestler.
That is very true.
I mean, I think everyone knows that the Bucks are great, but I don't think Nick gets the credit for being as great as he is.
People think
he's really great.
Yeah. When people say why they think the Bucks are great, it's usually spectacular combos and double teams, and not enough just being great wrestlers.
Yes.
And they are. Match itself had kind of weird pacing, and the finish came out of nowhere. It was anticlimactic.
It went back and forth for a long time.
Yes.
Before they finally got the heat. Yeah. And they just wanted to do this match, and they did this match, and the people liked it.
It went 20 minutes.
The only thing that I didn't like is I can't believe that the Young Bucks lost again.
They are doing the losing streak gimmick.
They're doing the story where they're falling down the tag team ranks, and I guess if that's the story, then they had to lose here, but... You know, I wasn't upset when Private Party upset the Young Bucks in the tag tournament. Dave was very upset about that. His theory is, you know, theoretically there's a lot of new fans watching, and you got to get over, you can't just presume that the Young Bucks and Cody and Kenny Omega and all these guys are going to be over. You got to get them over. And then if you want to have them lose later on, they can lose later on. And I was fine with Private Party getting a big upset because the crowd was super in and everything like that, but I watched this match and they lost. And all I could think was, if you are a new fan, you decided to try out AEW on TNT, you watched it for 5 weeks, and you really liked it, and you decided to buy this pay-per-view. Like, the Young Bucks come across as nothing special as a team. Not in the ring, but like, they lose all the time.
They lost in the tournament. They won a trios match with Kenny. They lost here.
It's too much losing.
Off the top of my head, I think that's it. They've won once now in, 7 shows? This pay-per-view in Dynamite? I think that's right. So Sammy Guevara comes out to celebrate with Proud and Powerful. He has the loaded sock, and they're going to take these Young Bucks to town, but the Rock and Roll Express make the save. In the process, Ricky Morton hit a Canadian Destroyer, and then a big giant tope. It
was awesome.
I was blown away.
Got the biggest pop of anything all night.
It actually did.
Well, not all night, but at least up to this point.
In this segment.
Yes.
And Jim Ross used the word hyperbole. It's not the word he meant, it's what he said.
Yeah. Rock and Roll Express is great. They have done a match with the former LAX. Mm-hmm. I hope they do it again. This would be a great TV match to build up to, or you could do a multi-person match, put the Bucks in there or whatever. I don't know if I mentioned this on Thursday when we reviewed TV, but Sammy Guevara is very special because I've been watching this show and he never wins. He always loses.
The best ever.
Well, I mean, it's more than that. He is such a cocky, irritating little prick that he never has to win.
Right.
You just, it's like Stone Cold in the Stunner. You just want to see him do the Stunner on every show. Sammy Guevara could win 1 out of every 100 matches, and he would still be over. Because he's the kind of guy that you just want to see him get beaten on every single show. It's not like in WWE where if he never won, he'd be like a jobber and he'd just be like a geek. This is a perfect role for him, the guy that just gets beaten up on every show to make you, the viewer, happy. He's a fabulous douchebag. That's what I'm trying to say.
I agree.
Yes.
And everything. Pac versus Hangman Page. So they had a struggle early. Not that it was a bad match, but Pac sold for a while, and then Page sold for about an hour, and man, it was quiet in this building. There was one point you could hear exactly one person chanting bastard shit over and over again. Which, when I think about it, maybe the most profane chant I've heard.
Well, it's playing off cowboy shit.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Bastard.
So Page does a big giant moonsault press from the top rope to the floor. And then out of nowhere, Pat grabs and hits a brainbuster onto an unfolded chair on the outside.
This was insane.
I screamed. They go back and forth for a while. They start to kill each other over and over, and now the crowd's finally getting into it, which is the sign of a well-worked match, when they're not into it at the beginning, but they are into it at the end. And Pat goes to the black arrow, but Paige dodges that, and Pat tries a low blow, but Pat tries a low blow. Paige sees it coming and blocks it. Very reminiscent of the Pete Dunne, Damian Priest feud in NXT. But he catches the low blow, hits a big lariat, and hits the Deadeye for the win. And this definitely peaked at the right time. This was a good wrestling match as well.
Listen, I wasn't at this show, and I go to a lot of wrestling shows, and I tell people about the crowd, and I hear people that weren't at the show telling me about the crowd, and I'm like, dude, I was there. I'm telling you about the crowd. So, people who were there said the crowd was great all night. And watching on TV, I did not get the impression that the crowd was great all night. And it's very weird because, as you noted, the crowd was great at the end of this match.
Yes.
But they weren't great at the beginning of this match, which tells me it wasn't my TV.
No.
And if I can hear one guy screaming in the middle of a match, that tells me the rest of the crowd is quiet. So I don't know what to say. I realize I just tried to explain that I thought I knew what the crowd was like even though I wasn't there, after chastising people who do it to me. But it is weird. The crowd they were up and down during the show. And they were down at the beginning of this match on my television.
We had a clip of Awesome Kong, or as I wrote here, Awesome King. That's wrong. Beating, as I wrote, somebody up and cutting her hair.
Now it's the beginning of that was a dark match I talked about.
Shawn Spears versus Joey Janela. The highlight of this match was when Spears took him to the corner and tied his ponytail into the tag rope. And then Janela yanked himself free, left some hair behind. Okay. So I'm asking myself, we were just talking about the crowd noise. I mean, it was quiet at the beginning of the Hangman Page match, but it's just flat for this match. I'm trying to figure out why. Like, every episode of Dynamite has seemed more lively and more fun than this pay-per-view. And I'm trying to figure out why the crowd's so dead. And then Shawn Spears and Tully Blanchard did a spike pile driver on the floor. And Shawn Spears did a DVD, and he won.
Yes.
Well, that killed me. Took the air out of my sails.
Hey, people really didn't like this match.
It was bad.
I thought it was fine.
It was not.
I had one massive problem with this match, and that is that Spears gives him a power slam on the floor. He gives him a back suplex on the apron. He's clearly trying to break this guy's back. He throws him into the ring, and he puts him in a chin lock. I was so angry.
Well,
you know how many times I've noted that there's very few rest holds in AEW? Mm-hmm. There's two guys that do rest holds. One of them is Pac, and he did one and he just kept going. And Pac is unbelievable, so I'm not going to complain about it. Right. It was over with quick. And the other is Shawn Spears. Both, I might add, WWE guys. They've been through WWE.
True.
Shawn Spears put on a chin lock after working over the dude's back.
Yeah.
I was done. And the rest of the match was fine. I mean, maybe a little less than fine, but it was saved by Tully Blanchard leaping off the ring steps to help deliver a spike pile driver to Joey Janela on the floor.
Yeah.
This guy's 65 years old.
They don't let him talk. But he's out there doing spots.
He's been preaching for like 25 years.
Yes.
He's come out of the clergy to deliver spike pile drivers off the steps to the floor. I loved it. And then, yes, Shawn Spears won. I think they're going way too hard with Shawn Spears.
Oh, you don't say.
But whatever. I mean, it is what it is.
So, I'm sure everyone listening to this has at some one point or another been made aware of Jim Cornette's rant about AEW. One of the things he didn't like about AEW was that they have a announcer who randomly is wearing a mask and calls himself Excalibur. And that really, really ruffled Jim Cornette's feathers, as he would say.
Of all people, that ruffles Jim Cornette's feathers?
That's something. Now, I always thought it was a silly complaint. But then we go to a backstage interviewer named Golden Boy.
Yes.
Why? Why is he golden?
That's what he's known as.
He's neither golden nor a boy.
He was Golden Boy before AEW, so he's just Golden Boy now.
Tan man. He's interviewing Kip Sabian, This is so weird. It was fine. It was, here is a new character, or at least a character getting more exposure. He gets to get a promo. He says, I was straight in the middle when I got to AEW. I found there was alliances all over the place. I needed an alliance, so I hooked up with TH2. He did have a great line when he said, they've gotten off to a slow start, but can you name me one rock band that's ever had a hit right out of the gate? And then before Golden Boy could answer, he yanked the microphone away and says, because of course there are several. He introduces Penelope Ford, his hot blonde. They are the Super Bad Squad, and they insulted Golden Boy and they left. This is all fine, but this is the kind of thing that gets done on free TV.
Well, this is also one of those things where it's good that you're here, Vinny, because you're an average person watching this show, and they're trying to attract average people, new fans. So the whole story here is Penelope Ford was dating Joey Janela, who is the bad boy. She left him in real life for Kip Sabian, who is super bad.
Well, this explains then.
That's why she says,
Yes.
why be bad when you can be super bad? So if you know all of this, this was like a great little promo here. But if you're you, or all of the other people who don't know what's going on, you are left befuddled. So they probably could have done a better job explaining all of that.
And a tag team tournament recap. And then the tag title match with SCU defending against the Lucha Brothers and Private Party. Private Party and Lucha Brothers both have some terrible ring music. I want to throw that out there. Everyone had their medals, which made me very happy for this match. And then they just do this match, and it is a bunch of random stuff. Everyone just takes turns doing moves. And if you are one of the people who, when we said Private Party were green, you said you didn't see it, and that's fine. I'm not upset with you, but watch this match. Like, every spot in Isaiah Cassidy's comeback was missed. It was not very good. Everyone loved the big train wreck spot.
Are there people actually arguing the Private Party are not green?
Arguing may be the wrong word, but just giving a different opinion.
Well, I rarely say this, as you're well aware, Vinny, but that is an incorrect opinion. They are absolutely, positively, without question, green.
They may be getting greener based on this show.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
So when Scorpio Sky tagged in to save the match, it got much better. Everyone loved the big train wreck spot, especially Phoenix jumping about 6 times to do one dive. And then Kaz kicks out of a shooting star press. They hit the SCU later. They pin whichever Private Party dude it was. If you like really cool moves, there were some really cool moves here. As a match, it was nothing.
So I thought for sure that the Lucha Brothers were going to be on the verge of winning. Daniels would come out and screw Pentagon, since Pentagon dropped him on his head on the ramp and killed him. And that would be the finish. So they didn't do that, but I'm still recovering. But after the match, another Pentagon showed up.
Yes.
The first Pentagon, I never realized was such an idiot. He starts dancing with the other Pentagon.
Well, the new Pentagon gave the first Pentagon the Zero Miedo hand sign.
Yes.
So the first Pentagon assumed, he's on my side.
He must be a friend.
He knows my secret handshake.
Well, he gave him the STO, and then he gave Phoenix the Angel's wings onto Pentagon. And it was weird because, like, I thought it was so obvious the moment the other Pentagon showed up who it was.
It was.
When he gave the STO, it got like a pop, but it didn't get a huge pop. And it wasn't until he hit the Angel's wings and started taking his mask off that the people actually knew who it was. I was flabbergasted. It's like, how is it not patently obvious who this was? I liked what they did afterwards. I still think my idea was better because the actual finish that they did in the match was kind of flat. They did all of these crazy moves, all of this insanity, and finally, Private Party tries their gin and juice, and it just got broken up, and Kazarian hits SCU later and pins him. Like, the fans were like, what?
It was absolutely nothing special.
So I would have had the interference.
The video package for Rio versus Emi Sakura was the sweetest thing ever. Just everyone being friendly. Here's Rio. I don't think she was nine years old in this video, but she was very young. And they've been training forever. She did gymnastics and got into pro wrestling that way. And it was adorable.
Sounds like me.
So they're doing this match. Jim Ross actually questioned whether Rio was too kind-hearted to win.
Yes.
It's a fair
she's
question.
Champion.
It's a fair question, but it's a strange way of putting it.
It's a fair question, but she's the champion. So yes.
Yeah. The answer is yes. Sakura is still doing the stomp, stomp, clap, like We Will Rock You, and is also doing the Deo call and response like Freddie Mercury, and it's actually starting to get over now, which is funny. She finally starts to get evil. She's scratching the back and fake crying and stomping the hell out of Rio. And Rio comes back, gets 1,000 stomps of her own. And then suddenly, next thing I know, they're just trading 1,000 cradles at 1,000 miles an hour, and one of the cradles Rio wins with. It was good.
Well, I mean, it was they were playing off the TV match where they exchanged a whole bunch of cradles. And on the TV match, Sakura pinned her to get the title shot, even though they already announced the title shot. And this one, they did the exact same deal. And as they were doing the cradles, they did the exact same cradle from TV, and the crowd was, they thought it was going to happen again.
Aha.
But it didn't. And this time, Riho hit the tilt-a-whirl sunset flip for the pin. I thought it was a very good match. I know Dave thought it was like one of the best women's matches of the year. I don't know if I would go that far. I thought it was very good. They did some really good stuff. Riho got the crowd at the end. I give it 2 thumbs up.
It was a very good pay-per-view match. And then we had Cody Chris Jericho video package, which kind of stunned me because I thought it was early on the show for this. Then I realized how long these last 2 matches were going to go. So Cody versus Chris Jericho with Dean Malenko, Arn Anderson, and The Great Muta as judges. Although it turns out that was just for a tease. They were never actually involved. I loved this match.
It was awesome.
I thought this match was out of this world great. Cody's best 2 matches in his career have been since leaving WWE. Probably a lot more than that, actually. I bet he would tell you. But his match with Dustin at Double or Nothing and his match here were just fantastic, fantastic stuff. So, first of all, just the way this was presented and the way they carry themselves and the intensity, but also the what's the word? There was a deliberateness to this match.
A gravity,
yes. Both guys were terrified of making the first big mistake. So it was not 1,000,000 miles an hour. They were working a little on the slow side, but there was an intensity to it, a gravity to it.
There was, but I mentioned this on the Observer show yesterday. They announced judges. In the case of this, went 60 minutes. And I thought that they announced the judges as a response to having 2 draws in major matches over the last 3 months and wanting people to know that if you spend your $50, you're not going to get a draw. If it goes a time limit, you're going to get a winner, but it'll be these judges. So I presumed from moment one, there's no way this is going to a 60-minute draw.
Yeah.
But yesterday, everybody thought they were going 60 minutes. If you were on Twitter, if you were on our board, anywhere you were on social media yesterday, all people talked about when this match started was, I'll see you in an hour. I'll see you at 10:15. All I heard was, it's going to go an hour. They've got the judges. Everyone was convinced it was going to go an hour. I think it hurt the first 10 minutes of the match with the crowd, because the crowd was very quiet. And they were watching this like it was going to go 60 minutes. Now, luckily, about 12, 13 minutes in, Cody started to do a big comeback, and all of a sudden, I think the fans realized, he's making his comeback. This thing is not going 60 minutes. And once I think they thought it wasn't going 60 minutes, they got super into the match. But I do think the judges being out there caused a lot of people to think, may as well not blow ourselves up now. We're going to be sitting here for an hour.
So the first big spot in the match is Cody throws Jericho outside in front of the announcers, and he hits a little tope. See 100 of these in your life. It's not that big a deal. They do some stuff. Cody's working the arm because Jericho uses the arm for the Judas effect. It's the arm he throws the elbow with. And then Cody throws Jericho out on the other side where there's a big entrance ramp. And he goes, the spot is he's going to miss a tope here. And in theory, it would be much safer than missing a tope on the other side of the ring where there's no ramp. Well, that was the theory. What really happened was Cody came down on the metal ramp on his face and tore his face open.
Huge cut.
And
multiple stitches.
I rewound a bit just to see, because my thought was like, did he gig right before the dive? Did he gig in midair? And then I realized, no, he didn't gig, because it was like a circle shape, which is not what you do with a razor blade. He tore his face open on the mat. Now, the funniest thing was there's blood everywhere, and it's not like they ignored it and Jericho's working the cut over, but the plan was I'll miss a dive on the ramp and sell my ribs. You can sell the ribs, which plays into the finish. So they stuck to that plan, which is, it worked out. The point was this is a very bad dive. It broke his head and his ribs. So there was a chinlock in this match, but it meant something because it was a chinlock by a guy who was already in dire straits going in. So this is an attempt to finish off a weakened foe with this chinlock. It wasn't just, I don't know what else to do, I'll grab his head. Cody gets the knees up on a Cabrata, makes just this super hot comeback. I think it slammed into the ribs again. Jericho goes to harass Mama Cody.
The best.
She slaps him across the face.
She screams, "Fuck you!" and hits him in the head. His mother.
How many times are we on the Retro Nitro shows when Judy Bagwell, something terrible would happen to her and Bagwell wouldn't care? Mama Cody slaps Jericho. Jericho flees. Cody, before following up, goes to make sure his mother is okay.
Yes.
Because Cody's a great baby face.
Yes.
Then he flies in the ring. He runs wild on Jericho. He puts him in the figure 4. Jake Hager, from the outside, breaks us up with a punch. I forgot to mention, each man, much like in New Japan, has one corner man.
Yes.
And Jericho, since his brother Dustin was not available, they took him out.
Cody,
since Dustin was not available, takes his best friend, MJF.
Yeah.
And Jericho, of course, picks his hired muscle, Jake Hager. So Hager breaks up the figure 4 with a punch to the head. Jericho's pushed into Hager, but then when Cody is shoved through the ropes, Hager punches him again. Finally, referee Aubrey sees this. She ejects Hager. He is thrown out. And MJF, of course, can't resist but taunt this man, laugh at him, wave goodbye, so Hager beats the hell out of him. While this is going on, in the ring, Jericho does the Eddie Guerrero belt shot to the head, where you hit the guy with a belt, throw it away, and then you sell too, so the referee has no idea what's going on. He goes to finish with the Judas effect, but Cody blocks it, hits Crossroads for 2. They do a big giant punch exchange, which leads to the famous Rhodes family flip, flop, and fly. They counter each other's moves for a bit. Jericho goes all Hogan with the weight belt, whipping Cody over and over again. Cody took a savage beating in this match, bleeding from the head, welts all over his body. He goes for a top rope Rana, but Jericho turns it into the Boston Crab. And Cody's in dire straits. He's able to get out one time, but Jericho goes right back to it, steps in the head with a big nasty neck crank, and MJF grabs that towel, and he's begging Jericho to fight free, and he's begging, and Cody can't escape, and MJF is forced to throw in the towel. That ends the match. Chris Jericho is still your World Heavyweight Champion. Cody is done, and he can never challenge for this title again.
And he better not.
This is a beautiful pro wrestling match. This was awesome.
So when MJF throws in that towel, there's so many different things they can do from here, because if Cody would have been reaching for the ropes and MJF threw in the towel, you'd have known immediately this was a heel turn.
Yes.
Reality was Cody was not reaching for the ropes. He wasn't getting out.
He was screwed.
So really, that's a big aspect of this story here. Everybody's mad at MJF for throwing in the towel, but, there is no evidence Cody was getting out.
Right.
So, hopefully MJF mentions that in his promo. So, MJF gets in the ring, and when he first threw in the towel, and I've been thinking of all of the different finishes for this, he threw the towel in to end the match, and my first thought was, oh, this is going to get the wrong kind of heat. We have been screwed out of this finish that we paid all of this money for. But alas, I was incorrect. He gets in there. Cody's all sad. MJF is in tears.
MJF was weeping.
He's apologizing profusely. I'm sorry. Fans chant, "You fucked up" at MJF. Cody stands up because Cody is the greatest babyface. And because Cody, I guess, realized I wasn't getting out, he accepts MJF's apology. He accepts his apology. He begins to pat him on the shoulder, and MJF boots him right in the nuts. It's perfect. Is perfect timing. He waited until Cody forgave him to kick him in the nuts.
Yes.
Cody falls down. Fans are furious. MJF is leaving. He gets pelted with a drink. Security drags this guy out. I actually am not sure whether this was or was not a plant. I've heard actually both sides. But anyway, all that matters is Cody is in the ring and he's all forlorn. And they fade to black.
He's lost his best friend, and he's lost the chance to challenge for the title. So, I'm kind of torn about this. For what they did was awesome. The only question I have is, was this the right time?
Hey, listen. You can argue either way.
Yes.
If you think it was too early,
and I'm going to, but go ahead.
You're right.
Yeah.
Because you just started watching. Right?
Yeah.
So it's too early.
Mm.
If you've been watching since All In, if you've been watching Being the Elite, if you've been watching everything that they have put out, it's not too early. But that is only a portion of their audience. So anybody that wants to tell me that they felt that this was not the right time, I am not going to say, I think you're wrong. I disagree. You are very welcome to that opinion. Because the whole idea of TV is to create a new audience. And to that audience, this was way too early.
Well, I would also point out, because of the way they did this finish, which I thought was brilliant, it's like you say, it was not obvious that MJF was screwing Cody.
No.
He may have been trying to do the best thing to help his friend. And they could have played this off to at least one more big show with Cody trusting MJF, everyone warning Cody about MJF, but Cody standing by his friend, and then MJF stabs him in the back. Now, the flip side of this is, if you do this, Cody does come off looking kind of stupid.
Yeah.
So we all knew it was coming. The longer you prevent it or postpone that, the stupider Cody looks, as the one guy who didn't know MJF was going to eventually stab him in the back. So, like I say, I'm torn on that. But they decided to do it here, and once they decided to do it here, it was perfect. So that's cool.
And that was the end of the pay-per-view. Technically, that was the end
officially
of the
it was.
pay-per-view.
Yes. If you just stick around for what was next, which AEW takes no responsibility for, Jon Moxley versus Kenny Omega in a lights-out match. Well,
where to begin?
A couple things. Well, I'll start with before the match. I forgot how not good Justin Roberts is at being a ring announcer.
What?
Kenny Omega. 2 words.
Wow, you're the first person I've ever heard say that they didn't like Justin Roberts as a ring announcer.
Jon Moxley. 2 words. Jon. His name is John. So, like immediately, Moxley rolls outside and says into the camera, quote, "It's time for some fucking garbage wrestling." And that is what we got. They did a bunch of insane stuff with weapons.
Do you realize I actually had people arguing with me that he didn't say that?
Jon Moxley?
No, the unsanctioned, it's time for some fucking garbage wrestling.
That's what he said.
That's what was his exact words.
Into the camera.
Yes.
Point blank, staring at the lens. So, they did a lot of crazy and insane shit. They also did a lot of shit that we see all the time, especially because we've been watching the Retro Raws and Nitros. I've seen 7,000 guys get hit in the head with trash cans. I don't care about it anymore. My biggest problem with this match, aside from the fact that I don't necessarily like to see guys torture each other like this, it seemed to go, like, rather than start with the mildly violent stuff and then build to the super insane crazy violence, it started with crazy insane violence and they got very mundane for a while. Then they did something crazy and then something insane. So it didn't build to anything. And after a while, I was just like, oh, look, there's more bloodletting. I don't care. I've seen it. Take it home. I was bored by all the carnage.
Well, I think that's one of the big things right here. There's a lot of people arguing about whether they like this match or not. I did not like this match for 2 reasons. The violent-related reason that I didn't like this match is there was obviously some stuff in this match that was not real. I don't think the glass was real. I don't think the barbed wire spider web whatever thing, I think that was fake barbed wire. But it was abundantly clear that the barbed wire baseball bat and the barbed wire broom were real.
Yes.
Okay. So, if you like to see dudes like really get punctured Like, okay, I don't. My main problem with the barbed wire stuff is Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega, like 5 minutes into this match, they puncture their bodies with barbed wire. There's holes all over their body with blood coming out of it. Okay?
Including the head and neck.
Then they proceed to take bumps in a dirty ring
Yeah.
and on the filthy arena floor.
Also true.
One of these guys missed the last event because he had a serious infection.
Staph infection.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is really stupid.
It
Okay. So there was a lot of stuff in this match. It's like, I've seen so many great Kenny Omega matches. I've seen so many great Jon Moxley matches since he left WWE. They'd have a 5,000 times better match than this spectacle. Mm-hmm. Now, on top of that, I started blocking anybody that used the word boomer. I don't care if it's your meme or whatever. Like if I saw boomer on my timeline, you were blocked yesterday. This has nothing to do with whether or not I like this style of wrestling, okay? I'm sure if you go back in the archives, you can find multiple examples involving Abyss, the Hell of War match, where I have said, I am not a fan of this kind of wrestling, but for what it was, this was an excellent match. I can't even tell you how many times I've said that. My biggest problem with this match was it wasn't a very good match.
It really wasn't.
Regardless of whether it was a hardcore match and they hit each other with bats or they fell into barbed wire or whatever, it was a 40-minute match where they just did stuff for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Nothing built to anything else.
Nope.
It was just a random collection of things. You hit me with this, I hit you with that. You fall into this, I fall into that. I was just like, the match wasn't very good. That's the bigger issue to me.
Yeah, I got very bored with it. And then they start closing with stuff I've seen before. They close with the taking off the canvas and the exposing the wood, which I've seen in NXT, saw in Impact. It's all been done before. I'm just waiting for them to just light each other on fire and be done with it. And finally, Moxley wins. I will say the double arm brainbuster onto the wood was the scariest thing they did, and that should have been the finish. But yeah, it was at least twice as long as it needed to be. It was not put together well in the fact that the craziest stuff, a lot of the crazy stuff was at the beginning, and then they calmed it down for a while, and then I got very bored. Went on forever. Moxley won. And my last words of my note here were the Hell of War match was way, way better than this.
And more violent.
And more violent. So
don't even tell me this is a violence thing.
Yeah.
I'd also like to, I can't even believe I'm doing this, but I'm going to examine the psychology of this unsanctioned match. They bring out this barbed wire spider web gimmick, and they do a suplex off the ramp into all of this barbed wire.
Yeah.
Okay. So then a bunch of AEW employees come out to get him out of it. What? This is an unsanctioned match. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If these two idiots suplex themselves into a bunch of barbed wire, and it's their job to get themselves out, why is AEW getting them out of the barbed wire?
I don't know.
I ridiculed that. They should have got themselves out.
Yeah.
They got themselves into it. They got to get themselves out of it. Yeah, I was not blown away by this match. Quite frankly, I pretty much hated it, and I think it's not what they need to do to build this audience.
That too. But
I hope they got it out of their system. The story I heard was that Jon Moxley really wanted to do a match like this. He was never going to be able to do it in WWE. They let him do it, and it's done.
Did Omega also want to?
Oh, Omega's done stuff like this before.
Okay.
I mean, clearly they both wanted to do it.
Well,
they're doing all sorts of crazy bullshit.
Touche.
But, I mean, I think it's done.
Yeah.
I think they did it, and they're done with it. I'm sure there's still going to be lights out matches. I'm sure there's still going to be unsanctioned matches. Dude, we just saw Omega and Joey Janela that I thought was a pretty good match, actually, which was also a crazy unsanctioned match. So they're going to do it, but I don't think you're going to see things like this on a regular basis. I could be wrong. That's the show, everybody.
Yeah.
That is AEW.
Thumbs up, especially for Cody and Jericho.
Full gear. Yeah. Cody Jericho was obviously the highlight of the show.
Yeah.
And it was the World Championship match, so it should have been.
I suppose so.
Now we'll see where they go on Wednesday.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, that's it. We're going to wrap it up. Back on Tuesday, Retro Raw Nitro 19 years ago this week. I will be back tomorrow. Observer Live, Observer Radio, lots of great stuff. Check it out. And that is it. We will talk to you again after a while.
Adios.